Hi there, welcome to Let's Talk Tottenham. Oh, what a life a Spurs fan is. 2-0 up against Man City and then a 4-goal loss. Where do we go from here? And transfer activity happening, just not at Tottenham. Joined by Brad. How you doing, Brad?
Chris, as we're talking off stage, it's a absolutely wonderful sunny day outside. It's a little cold, and it's Friday. There's a weekend ahead of us, but Tottenham sort of puts a little bit of a black mark on that. But as we're about to talk about, there are a lot more important things in life. So
yeah, and we'll be joined by Eujin shortly as well from Spurs Eurasian TV. Hasn't been on here for a couple of years, so great to have him back. Great to have Brad as always. Blue Sofa Songs is his channel. Make sure you check that out. Is there a show a video tonight? A song tonight?
No, it's every 2 weeks now because I need to give myself a little bit more time to compose and also with the fact that I'm recording more than one track, so it takes a bit more effort.
Okay. Yeah, but make sure you check that out, all the back catalogue. Please hit the like on here and the subscribe as well, and also the notification bell. You don't have to remember when we go live. And yeah, all of the YouTube channels and everything will be talked about at the end, where you can find them and what you can expect. Ben Kaufman in the chat. How you doing, Ben? I suspect, like us, a bit down in the dumps. But it was a terrible result against Man City. Terrible second half. But it kind of pales into significance, really, because of what happened to this young man here. Anyone doesn't know, Anton Walks, 25 he was, and he's passed away tragically. One of our old youth players. I don't know too much about him in terms of football or anything like that. Obviously only 25, but I mean, it's no age, really. It's no age, and just absolutely terrible, and just puts us moaning about a football game kind of really into perspective, and transfer windows really into perspective. But I your thoughts on the terrible situation?
Oh yeah, I mean it's tragic. He apparently played in a League Cup game for Tottenham. Then he went to Portsmouth. I think he played 66 games for Portsmouth.
Yeah.
And then went to America. Played for, I can't remember the name of the team, but he was killed in a boating accident. I don't know any more of the details, but that's what's been released.
I didn't know that, but
yeah, and it's tragic when anyone dies, of an illness or something like that. But when it's sort of something like a boating accident, you think,
and so young as well.
It's too young, and my thoughts, go out to his family and friends and that, because it must be, I lost my father 6 years ago, but he was 89. You sort of expect that, it's going to happen, but when you're 25, you're not expecting it, and that must be awful, absolutely awful. I cannot imagine what his family is going through.
Like you said, thoughts with his friends and family at this time, because just horrific news. But let's move on to Spurs. Please get your comments in. What you thought of the game, where we go from here, what Spurs doing, like Ben says here with Anton Walks. 25 is no age, absolutely terrible. But at least we've sorted the here's Eugene. Let me just bring him on. How you doing, buddy?
Hey,
welcome back.
Yep, Chris, I haven't done this in such a long time.
Great to have you back. We were just talking about the tragic news of Anton Walks. 25, no age, absolutely terrible.
Boating accident in Miami. It is life, right? It comes and it goes. It's fated. If it happens, it happens.
Very tragic and awful news. Mark Cousins, good afternoon. Bonus day off, so better put it to good use watching YouTube all day. Big support of Spurs channels. Brad, we seem to have figured out the first half issues, but we play a god awful second half and then lose 4-2. I mean, we're going to come to Lloris, Lenglet, all of the other clowns at the back a bit later on. 51 minutes, 53 minutes, 2 goals that changed the game, and then we're on a complete backs against the wall. I know we hit the bar, but regardless of who you are, regardless of who you're playing, 2-0 up at half time, you should not be pegged back 8 minutes into the second half and then lose 4-2.
Well, this I think is the whole
the role reversal of this awful first half, good second half. Oh, what do you make of it?
Well, I remember actually when the 2 goals went in before half time, thinking, "Oh, why can't this be the end of the game?" You know. And I was, and then suddenly from watching the game with sort of no nervousness because I thought we're going to get thumped anyway. And then suddenly you think we could win this, and then I become nervous. I think, look, it's no disgrace to be 2-0 up against a decent side at their ground and lose. There's no disgrace in that. It happens. We've done it ourselves. But I think it was the way it happened. It was like, I think it was 15 minutes and they were leading. And there was just like no resistance at all. It just seemed to. I think I read somewhere that Man City had 4 shots on goal. And they all went in. And
I saw it as 6 on BBC. So 6 and 4 went
maybe
in.
6. Maybe 6. But it was just the way it happened. It happened so quickly. And I guess in a way, from a supporter's perspective, I'd rather it happen that way. If you're gonna lose, I'd rather it happen that way than say 3 goals in the last 15 minutes. Because then you think we're almost there. But it just happened so quickly. And Tottenham seemed to let's be honest. We played reasonably well in the first half, but Man City weren't there. In the second half, when they decided to actually play, we just crumbled, and that worries me. And that as soon as we seem to be put under a little bit of pressure, we seem to crumble. And we'll obviously talk about certain players later on, but it was very I didn't like the way it happened. But I guess if you want to look for positives, if Perisic's shots goes in, it's 3-2, and maybe the game changes. I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll never know. But it was difficult to take.
Oh, the way we collapsed was just. Ben here says, Romero's the only player in defence that can hold his head in pride. Need to cancel Linglay's loan. He's shocking, worse than Davies. We'll get to Levy transfers, defenders a bit later on. But Eugin, but Eugin, what did you make of the game? Or was Brad summed it up fairly well for you?
It was fixed all the way, right? Late 2 goals in the first half, then we just crumbled in the second half. It's all false kind of narrative going on. I don't know what to say about our team anymore, right? I woke up at 4 a.m. in the morning just to watch that match, right? I've been having a good day anyway, having some back issues and all that. So I'm on this show because today I'm just on medical leave. And then while I was watching the show, I went in a bout of diarrhea and vomiting, and we lost 4-2. So
apart from that, a good night.
What else can go wrong at 4 a.m. in the morning in Malaysia, right? So
I mean,
what the TF, right? So I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I mean, come on, guys. We should be proud. Emerson scored a goal.
He took his goal really well, didn't he? I mean, talk about our defenders. I'm not really sure what their goalkeeper and defender was doing on the first one. You can praise Bentancur all you like for the closing down. And then Kane being able to win that ball and keep it in play should never, ever be good play by Kane and good desire by Kane. But from a defence point of view, should never, ever be happening.
But the thing is that M City played like Spurs in the first half. So
they got booed off at half time by their own fans, didn't they?
Yeah, and imagine they got booed off. The fans got a reaction out of them in the second half. We get booed off. We turn the shit after that. So so I think I'm not sure whether it's a mental problem. Whether I don't know. There's something really
Do you think
wrong.
The players have stopped playing for Conte? I don't think that, because I think if that was the case, we wouldn't be seeing any half of good football. We'd be seeing dross.
I don't think the players have stopped playing for Conte, but I think after the World Cup, when deals weren't be able to be set up and all that for Conte's contract, the disagreement that we know that Conte has with the board, I think it's taking its mental toll on the players, right? I mean, because they are in limbo too at the moment. They don't know who's coming in next, because I'm very sure, we are all very sure Conte is going to walk, right? I already said Conte was going to walk last January transfer window, not this January transfer window. I don't think Conte is going to walk all this while, because number one, 18 months contract is a stopgap manager. He's been brought in as a stopgap manager. He's not here for the long term, right? he was maybe thinking he could come in and change the mentality of our owners. But in the end of the day, right, Conte is hitting his head in a brick wall as all the other managers have been doing. So who do you want to blame? Do we blame the owners? Do we blame the clubs? Do we blame the fans? Right. So it is what it is. The first half, we were not to say that good, but we did put up a fight. We defended a bit. We defended well against their inept attacking. Right, they were inept to tell the truth. MCT came out really bad in the first half. We scored 2 late goals. Right, it all came in the 40th minute. We scored two goals in within 2 minutes and 6 seconds or something like that. They were saying, right? So, and it all came from the mistakes, individual mistakes by the MCT players too, right? The first goal that was stolen, and the bad pass by Edison to Rodrigo, if I'm not mistaken, being stolen. Right?
I do think that was good play by us as well. We've
we
stuck
pressed them.
And that comes to Darryl here. The second point, if Emerson Royal your star man, then we know we have problems. And then to that point, Eugene, what you've just said, why do Spurs press versus City and not other teams? # mind-boggling. Didn't see any pressing against Arsenal. It was absolute ridiculous. City, we press. I didn't actually see the game. I was out for a birthday meal. I saw the second goal, ironically. I went into the pub to see who scored the goal, and the second one went in. But yeah, that pressing there for the first goal was not evident in 90 minutes against Arsenal.
Well, maybe Man City, they do like to play out from the back, so maybe that's going to be your pre-match.
It was good scouting, I guess, because they're going to do that. Make sure if one's a bit loose,
I felt yesterday that I felt that we always had a chance to score. I felt against Man City, they're going to have a lot of the ball and attack you, but I still think their back line can make mistakes, which obviously proved correct. So even at 3-2, I always felt that we were still in the game, that we could score. And of course, when the fourth goal went in, well, that was it.
It was game over. Yeah.
But I always feel, even at the Etihad, that you've got a chance against Man City because they will try and attack you and they will leave spaces at the back. And Tottenham exploit that when we're on our mark. And let's face it, our forward line is pretty decent, really, compared to the rest of the team. When we attack like that, we are pretty good. I mean, maybe if Son had been on form yesterday, maybe we might have got a result there. But we still had. I thought we were in with chances to score, and of course when the fourth goal, that's game over. But
Son's form, I blame it on the Calvin Klein ad. So he's lost his form.
He's got 2 tight boxes. He can't move his legs properly. That's what it is. You just figured it out.
I'm blaming on that. Yeah. So, but the thing is that whatever we did last season against MCT, how we won at MCT is that we were very well compact and we defended well. And we struck them with precise counterattacks. But with Son being off form, right, we've lost one leg. So you're just trying to attack with just one leg. So I guess that's what happened to us. And the surprise 2 goals in the first half, that was a surprise 2 goals, right? We did. I tell the truth, we did press, but somehow or another, we sat back in the second half and they smacked us within the first 15 minutes. We were back to level. So I guess somehow or another, our mental state isn't that strong now because, once we get smacked back and pressed back and into level, right, we just drop off. And I guess that's the problem at the moment. Like I've been saying, ever since the scenario for Conte's contract hasn't been able to be resolved since the World Cup break, I guess a lot of things have just gone out the window at the moment. So, and of course, like what Chris says, we'll talk about things to come on whose fault is it. I mean, to tell the truth, fault and not fault, of course, the players on the pitch will have to bear most of the blame, right? And of course, with Conte, there's already a divide whether he should be blamed and not should be blamed and all that. Everybody's pushing the blame around, so we're all just playing the blame game at the moment. Welcome back to Spurs. Congratulations.
On Conte and the players, Brad. Eugene mentioned the mentality there. Do you think that the fact that our coach died has anything to do with that, and it's still a kind of mourning process? Conte's also lost a couple of other really close people to him in his life as well. So, as we all know, we've had family members and friends who have died, and mourning is very different for every single person. Do you think there's a mourning process going on? Not mourning, grieving. Sorry, grieving process going on, and that's part of why the confidence seems to be shot.
I think with Conte, it's going to affect him because it's like 3 close friends in space of months. But I guess it depends on the person, how a person reacts. Sometimes a person will react by wanting to concentrate on something else. And, I mean, I'm sorry to bring up the music analogy, but most songs are written about something bad. I broke up. So it gives you that sort of that mental
release,
sort of
doesn't it?
So I'm not sure. I don't know Conte personally. No. He has actually come out in the media and said that there is a separation between his personal life and his sort of sports life. How it affects the team, again, it will affect different individuals in different ways. But again, when you're on the pitch, you're focused on that one thing. You're not thinking, "Oh, so and so has died." The human being has a way of cutting that out. I just don't think our players, for what we want to achieve, what Tottenham wants to achieve, are good enough. And I think Ben made the point. The only person that had a decent game in defence was probably Romero. So I'm not sure. It's gonna be part. It might be a small part of it, but I don't. It's certainly not the thing that we should be concentrating on. It's sort of like, well, these things, tragedies happen. You've just got to, it's difficult, but you got to get on with it basically. And at the end of the day, our defenders aren't good enough. I'm sure we're talking about that later, but yeah, they're not good enough for those sort of. Certainly not for a whole 90 minutes. Yeah, they can have their 20 minutes, 30 minutes. Half where they actually play out their skin, but for a whole 90 minutes,
or the odd game here or there, but no consistency.
Yeah,
Davil here has said, and we'll get to this a bit later on as well. We've just got a mishmash of players who don't suit any system due to buying random players over the years, in my honest opinion. And Wayne Bonner, good afternoon, all. Played well first half, and I was surprised when we went 2-0 up with quick goals. However, I think City that just pissed them off and woke them up, probably as well with the fan reaction at half-time. They're probably not used to having that. But we'll talk about it.
We all know what this half-team talk was with Pep. Was it's basically would have just said to them, "It's Tottenham."
Yeah. And big up Chris Agenbar to yourself as well. Everyone in the chat, all regulars, really appreciate you watching and commenting as usual. Let's talk about a couple of the defenders, or the defense and goalkeeper. So Lenglet. And this man. So let's start with this man, Lloris. One mistake every game doesn't get dropped. 2 mistakes in this one doesn't get dropped. What does he have to do to get dropped? Kill a man? I mean, the first goal, I'm not really sure what he was doing. The second goal, any goalkeeper worth their salt should not be beating that tight an angle at your near post. For me, I don't care what he's done in the past. He has been world-class in the past. There's no doubt about that. Best goalkeeper in my lifetime at Spurs. But he's past his best. Give Forster a chance. It can't be helping the defence, the team, worrying about what the goalkeeper's going to do. And we'll come on to the defence in a minute, which must be worrying Lloris about what the defence is going to do. But Eugene, Lloris, what do we do with our goalkeeper? We've got a goalkeeper who's making mistakes. I had a cold during Christmas. If I'd have coughed in his face, I don't think he'd have caught it. I think that's how bad he's been recently. But what would you do with the goalkeeper situation?
Oh, to tell the truth, right? Our goalkeeper situation is just a big conundrum, right? We should have gotten his understudy 2 years ago, and we shouldn't actually renew his contract to keep him on. Right, but he's there. Of course, he's a great shot stopper, but at the moment now he's just making too many mistakes. Mentally, I guess he's making decisions wrong. Right, the first goal, I do blame him. He came out and flapped the ball, and he pushed the ball to Mahrez. Was it Mahrez who scored it? The first goal.
Was it Alvarez? He scored. Did it fall?
Alvarez, he flapped the ball straight to him, and he pushed it into the net. Right, so why
he
did
had no business coming out for that, really, did he? Because there were about 3 defenders around there. Let one of them sort it. If it doesn't, you're on your line in a good position to stop any shot that comes in. So he's taken himself out of the game, made it easy for Alvarez.
For Alvarez to put it in, right? And of course, the second goal that went in. Oh my gosh, that's sort of the old adage is that, right? If you're a good goalkeeper, you won't let the ball get past you in the near post. Simple as that. So I guess he's no more a good goalkeeper. And the sad part is that, are we going to take the risk on Foster, right, to put him in to try out whether he's good enough, or are we going to bring in a youth goalkeeper like what's the guy's name?
Alfie Whiteman.
Alfie Whiteman to stand in and see what maybe they'll bring in some changes. But as we know, Conte will always stick to the old and trusted ways and the methods that the things and the blah blah blah. But in the this is, come on guys, Lloris has been there for the past 10 to 12 years, so it is what it is, right? So get rid of summertime, January window. We should be going for a goalkeeper now.
David Villa, well, we'll come to transfers a bit later on because David Villa is the 20 million one. Just go get him, but we'll come to transfers a bit later on. But Brad, from Wayne, Hugo beating 2 games in a row at the near post. Sure hint that Forster should be starting. It goes to what Eugene says there, like, tried and trusted. I'm not sure you can trust Hugo anymore, but he is the tried one. Would it be better just to start Forster? Because then it tells Hugo that, I think Hugo at the moment thinks I can do whatever I want, good or bad. I'm in goal for the next game.
Well, I was
there making Bucket's ideas up, and just very quickly, Wayne, I'd still go for Henderson. Can't see him getting a game at United anytime soon.
He took the words out of my mouth there, Wayne did.
But, Forster for the moment, or still Hugo for you, or Whiteman, like Eugene says?
I would have played Forster last night anyway. I'd have played him anyway, maybe even for the rest of the season. I think I was skimming through Twitter and whatever. I'm sure I read something that Lloris has actually in an interview said that he has been mentally affected by the World Cup loss. Now, I'm not, maybe I read it wrong. I was only going through pretty quickly. So that says that he's not quite there mentally. But I would have put Forster in, even to say to Lloris, look, you've had a hard time. You're making mistakes. Take some time off.
Yeah.
I'm quite inclined to play Forster the rest of the season. I would even go so far. If we don't sign going back to the goal last night. When you watch a game, obviously your mind works what's going to happen next.
Which goal are you talking about?
I'm talking about the near post goal, the third goal.
Oh, the third. Okay.
When and let's be honest, the goals of defensive errors, everyone's to blame. The defense is to blame. We didn't, should have put Mahrez in the stand. He had a great second half. When he got around Perisic, my immediate instinct was, oh shit, he's going to cross it and someone's going to put it in. That was my instinct. When the ball went in, I'm thinking, how did that get in? How the hell did that get in? And when you watch it, okay, it took a deflection, but no, you're any goalkeeper or professional keeper should be stopping that. And he didn't, and that's the problem. And he's been beaten on the near post many, many times. And it was on his left side. He's left-handed. He's on his natural side to go. Unless we can get a decent keeper in the summer, I'd even be inclined to play Forster next season and have Alfie Whiteman as his backup and play Alfie Whiteman in the cup games, Carabao Cup, blah blah blah, etc. And have him as the understudy.
And Europe. Oh, no, sorry, we're not in Europe next season.
That said, if we don't sign a new keeper and Lloris is still at the club, again, I would be inclined to have Alfie Whiteman as a backup. So whichever way you go, we've got to be getting a keeper. And as for Henderson, at the start of the season, when we got Forster, we were actually linked with Henderson, and I'm thinking that's perfect. Here you have I think he was 29 years old or 28 years old, Premiership proven goalkeeper. What perfect person to have as backup for Lloris 2 seasons, and then he becomes the number one. But they didn't go for it.
I still don't think Man United will sell him to us because regardless of where we finish, we are a rival, regardless of if he plays or not, unless it's astronomical amount of money we spend, which we don't do. But Darryl here says, we don't need elite players, but decent players with a good manager who plays to suit the players, i.e., I think that means Harry's era. Even under Linek, I'd put all my eggs in the basket, get an elite scout and network. Ours have been broken for 2 decades now. Before anybody makes any comments on about me saying that we should have Forster in goal for next season, that's just basically how I feel at the moment. It's got to that stage. I think if any player is failing and not performing, you've got to try someone else there. You've got to drop them, unless you don't have anyone like Harry Kane. Don't really have anyone. But Chris Aguilar, it would be our luck. We finish 7th and get Conference League.
Well, actually, can I just
but then the Conference League would be all right if what's his name, Whiteman was on the bench, because that's a chance to give him some game time.
Can I make a quick point? Now, I was watching one of your rival shows for a bit, and I think Will Stewart was on, and he was saying, and I haven't checked into this, he was saying that next season with the UEFA coefficient, where we're actually quite high, that Tottenham could be in the Champions League finishing as low as 6th place. Now, if I've misquoted him, I apologise. But
it's a new format, isn't it?
Yeah, so I don't know how true that is, and as I said, I haven't checked that.
They're expanding the Champions League format, so they're giving more spots out to the top.
That's ridiculous.
I think we should be aiming for 6th place.
It fits just nice in the narrative since Newcastle is coming in, so we'll be playing around with the top 7 nowadays. So the big 7, no more the big 6. So
just
even with the big 7, we'll be the 7.
Just give the Champions League all the way down to the team who escaped relegation in 17th. But Eujin, the defence. I mean, God knows what Longley was doing at the end. Just boot it. He's tried to control it and then start another attack, but oh my God. First goal, second goal, Perisic on the third goal being absolutely done by Mahrez with just a little turn. And the fourth goal, Longley. I mean...
No, I think the fourth goal...
you can criticise Conte. You can criticise Conte all you want, and he is picking those players. But if they're making Sunday league mistakes like that, you can't really put the justification on Conte there, because they are professional footballers who should be able to control the ball. Goalkeeper being able to cover his near post. But I mean, the defence, Eujin, what do we do?
We've been saying all the while, right? Our defense is shit, right? We are supposed to get quality defenders in the summer. Instead, we bought we strengthened in other positions, which we have not actually strengthened at all. For the Langley goal, it was already in the 80th plus minute. It wouldn't matter whether he made a mistake or didn't make a mistake. We were already down by then, right? You could see that our players were trying their best, but nothing is coming out of it. It ended up more like M City was playing a sit back and let us attack, and they countered us, and I guess individual mistakes again. There are too many individual mistakes in our team. Collective mistakes, individual mistakes is always a mistake. So I guess we're coming to become. We just must change our team into Mistake FC, right? Everybody's welcome. Have a mistake at us. So at the moment, we all know our defense suck. Day one, right? We put on Langley and to play at the start, and we put on Davis. It sucks. We put in Davis to start. We change it with Langley. It sucks. So I guess no matter what I do, it sucks. So whatever we do, we just tell her to suck. So it is what it is. And don't forget, we had our chances to rectify all these issues in the summer transfer window. We didn't. So I guess it's coming to bite us. It's coming back to bite us. So. And we're getting bitten hard. So I said, let's see what Conte can do, right? Basically, he came in more or less at this time. If you pick up in the game, he came in last year at this time, and where he turned the club around when Nuno was around, right? So let's see what happens this time. Maybe he won't be here by then, and somebody else will come and pick it up and turn it around.
Ben Kaufman here. We have to face it. We're a small club until we start acting like a big club. 20 days into a transfer window, haven't offered real money for an actual target. Absolutely. We'll come to that a bit later on. But Brad, the defence.
Well, can anyone remember? Have we had any decent centre backs? Okay, Romero could is decent, but have we had any decent centre backs since Vertonghen and Alderweireld? I don't think we have. Since that defence, if you look at the Tottenham team in 2017, if you look at the defence that we haven't replaced, the fullbacks, wingbacks, whatever you want to call them, we haven't replaced.
We also had top quality defensive midfielders, which is also part of the defensive unit, which Bentancur aside, Well, Højbjerg's not too bad, but he's nowhere near Wanyama or Dembele level. But Bentancur has the potential to be that level. But those two worked, Wanyama, Dembele, because they were a double act and a team.
It was...
and that's why they worked. If one of them went out, well, the other thing that worked in that is Poch had a way of playing, a system of playing. So anyone who walked in did exactly the same job, knew what was expected of them. But yeah, we don't have that defensive unit anymore. We've got a goalkeeper who's all over the place. Defense, apart from Romero's all over the place. No defensive kind of unit. It's just, a shambles.
Well, you look at our first 11. I'm not even talking about a squad here, which ultimately you need. I mean, you look at who Man City brought off the bench. And let's face it, they've got the money to throw lots of money. So, but if you look at our first 11, you're looking at replacing the goalkeeper, 2 of the centre backs, and the 2 fullback stroke wing backs. You know, that's 5 players.
Just for a start. Just
for a starting 11. You know, so and then go to the fact that we haven't replaced Ericsson in God knows how many years. You know, so that's 6 players. You know, and you're not even talking about the squad at that time. You know, so it's there's a lot of work to be done there. And again, look, you know, I get him. I mean, actually, Conte's done another press conference this morning. It's quite interesting. If you go to football.london, you can find the transcript.
Was that where he said something about that? His previous clubs regret him leaving or something like that?
He mentioned that this is the first time that 21 goals in 10 games. That's never happened to him before. But he did the way he talked about the defence, and I got the impression that he thinks that defence doesn't really matter on the quality of the players. It's how tactically they play and how they take to your tactics. That's how I read it. I mean, I could
the problem is that, of course, you need the quality of the players, right? If half of the defense are brain dead, right, and can't take instructions from tactics, of course they matter, right? Maybe that's what he's trying to say, right? We got brain dead defenders who can't take instructions. That's why they don't know what they're doing, right? So most of the time they're running in the wrong direction, and they're all over the place along the back line. So I guess that's one part. And of course, when you're having a goalkeeper with a confidence issue, it will simmer throughout the whole of your defense, right? Because your defense will be wondering, will he come out and flap at the ball, right? Or will he actually come out and punch the ball away, right? So in that day, we've seen our goalkeeper flap at the ball, right? If I was Conte, I'll take the captainship away from him from the next game onwards. He shouldn't be the captain anymore. Give the captainship to Kane. Give it to Kulu. Give it to Bentancur, right? Someone in midfield, right? So at least he gets a wake-up call. Instead, he's still the captain, right? And if he's the captain and he's making all those mistakes, what will the rest of the players say, right? No responsibility. Oh, yeah, I keep forgetting. We're at Tottenham Hotspur. There's no accountability. Everybody likes to do what they want to do, right? So it stems from the top.
It's a situation that I think we need to see the Conte team at some stage. At the moment, we've got players in our team that are from other managers signings. We
won't have the time to see the Conte team.
Well,
I agree with Eugene there wholeheartedly.
I'm not so sure Conte will quit. I'm actually more worried that Levy will sack him, because that's the sort of thing he does.
Well, I guess if Levy sacks him, he owes him compensation. He goes, we don't have the money.
Well,
for any
true.
Whereas if he walks,
if Levy sacks him, but if Levy sacks him, right, it's just another 4 months down the road. It's not Conte signing a 3-year contract, right? That's why I say Conte is a stopgap manager. He came in on an 18-month. If Levy sacks him now, it's from now until May. So it's another 4 more months. Levy will pay 4 months, right, of whatever amount that is. But the problem is what I've been saying. If Conte comes in, he doesn't get his players, which he's already been iterating that he hasn't gotten his players in the summer, right? And his vision and the board's visions are not meeting. So in that day, this is what we get. And whether he walks or he stays or he gets sacked, it doesn't matter anymore because, like what Bob Spurs says, true. Just bring in Ryan Mason and just trudge on.
I have to say, it's really sad. Every time I've spoken to you, Eugene, you're always really happy and chirpy. And you seem like me now. I've just given up caring, to be honest, to a certain extent.
I'm only happy because it's Friday and I've got a fridge full of beer that I'm going to have later on. So.
A couple of comments, Mark Cousins. Diving Davies were squad players under Poch. Now they're stars.
Yep.
Says it all about the club. And Darryl Denton. This is down to neglecting the windows
Yep.
for the last 4 years, getting players that have not addressed the problem areas. Don't know how you get Conte and don't address the defence first.
Yep.
Absolute criminal.
It's more prevalent every day. Yeah, I guess we're going to talk about the owners at some stage, but I'll wait until then. But it's.
Yeah, I mean, one positive, Brad. Bentancur is back.
Yeah.
Steals our midfield up a little bit, and he, one of the signings from the last January transfer window. There was only two, but he's become a big hit and a regular starter. Same with Kulu, but Bentancur back can only be a good thing. But if you don't have the defence and your defence is going to make silly challenges, doesn't matter if you've got the best striker in the world and Bentancur on the pitch, but. Thoughts on Bentancur and how crucial he can be for the rest of the season, regardless of what that entails for
us. For Bentancur, right? Which whatever Conte will call him Rodrigo, right? Whenever Rodrigo is back, yeah. But what I see in Bentancur, of course, he brings a different dynamic to our midfield. He solidifies our midfield. But in the end, they playing two in the midfield, we usually get overrun by other teams. All the other teams now, they know how to play against the Conte system because we don't have effective wing backs, right? You just play three in the midfield against our two in the midfield. You will always know the numbers will be overrun by.
That's what happened in the Arsenal game. Certainly, the first half was it Partey, Odegaard. Xhaka,
and the thing is that for Bentancur is very simple. He just came back from injury, and it's not a short injury. He's been out for about 2 months now, if I'm not mistaken, since the World Cup. So it'll take him some time to get back into gear. Like yesterday, we saw once we took Bentancur out and put on Bissouma, we more or less lost our forward moving impetus. It's hard, sorry to say, right? And if I'm not sure whether it's time to actually try to put in Bissouma and Bentancur instead of Bentancur and Højbjerg. Yes, Højbjerg does all the running. He's strong and all that, but he doesn't give us much of a creative outlet at the moment. But
he has scored a lot more goals in this season.
Yeah. But it's still not enough, right? To tell the truth, some other Spurs will never go for goal-scoring players, right? I don't know why. We never go for. These past 4 seasons. Past 4 years, right? We've seen our players just come in, push the ball around. Right, and we keep shouting at the players. I'm shouting at them at the TV most of the time. Move forward, move forward, move forward. The goal is on that side, not behind you, right? Move forward, right? So I'm going, what the hell is going on? I don't know. We've more or less been stuck in that kind of mental state, right? But without quality players, without players who actually can move forward with the ball, I guess we'll be still playing games like this, right? And somehow or another, surprisingly, we've played our 19th game or 20th game now, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, that was number 20 in the league yesterday.
Yeah, so we've just broken our midway mark, and let's see what happens from here, right? So, and it's a weird thing because we're into January now, more or less end of January, and we're just passing midway stage, right? Usually, when we reach this stage of midway, we are somewhere in December, right? So, the games are coming thick and fast with Champions League and all that, and don't forget, let's see if we get any upgrades or downgrades along the way.
A couple of comments back to Hugo Ben Kaufman. Hugo Law is a melted Kit Kat. Never heard any player described as that.
The Kit Kat chocolate bar.
But I've never heard a player described as that, but I love a Kit Kat, and a melted one is a disgrace, so I think it's fairly accurate.
Kit Kat dipped in tea or coffee.
No.
Brilliant.
Got to be in the fridge and then eat it from the fridge. And Bob Spur, how you doing, Bob?
Hey, Bob.
Hugo saves us more than he costs us. Narrative is a myth. He's a keeper in a clear decline. Been saying this since the disaster show v Wolves last season. However, bigger picture. We'll come to the bigger picture a bit later.
Bob's right.
But we've also got Brad. I don't have a picture of him. I thought I did. A real issue with Harry Kane, the conundrum. End of this season, year left on his contract. All talks. No, I'm not going to sign a new one. We all know what happened last summer with how he feels about the broken thing. All he can really achieve, certainly this season at Spurs, is breaking that record, 2 goals shy of that, which he'll get this season, bar an injury. If I was him, the way the club is, I'd be saying, you either get rid of me for 60 million, 50 million next year and sell me to an English team if one comes in, or you're selling me for absolutely fuck all and nothing because I'm not signing another contract unless you sell up and get a chairman who will spend money and build the team like you should have done in 16, 17. If he does go, which I think he probably will, Richarlison can play up top. He does it for Brazil very well. He's obviously not Harry Kane. And Richarlison ain't going to drop back and spray the balls around and all of that kind of business. So we will need someone to replace him. Or we go and buy someone else. But who are you going to buy that's as good as Harry Kane? In my opinion, no one, unless you get Haaland. Or you bring Dane Scarlett in, but he's only had a year at League One. Is there any chance for you Harry Kane signs a new contract? Or are we needing to get in our heads now that come the start of next season, there's a very, very high chance that Harry Kane will be in a different coloured shirt?
Well, I think Kane, in his heart of hearts, doesn't want to leave. I'm sure of that. And he's also said that he wants to stay in England. So
he wants Shearer's record, doesn't he? So
yeah,
I was speaking to Ben Daniel after the game on Sunday, and he was saying he's pretty sure Man United will offer a 60 million pound bid this summer. And what do you do? If you're Levy, you have to take the 60 million. You can't let him go away for free in the hope that next season we can do something and convince him to stay.
Yeah, I think Kane will stay on. He's always said that there's a future at Tottenham and we're moving forward, he'll stay. That future moving forward it obviously includes Conte signing a new deal. It includes us actually getting some decent players. Yeah. Then you could make an argument for looking at progress. I didn't think there's any club in the Premier since the Man City boat sailed. I don't think there's any club that he'd go to. But now Man United come into the picture, you think, well, yeah, that would be one. A lot of people seem to think he might go to Chelsea.
I don't think he'll ever go there. I think he'd rather stay at Spurs and do nothing than go to Chelsea because if he goes to Chelsea, any legend status that he has at Tottenham goes out.
Let's face it. I think it's only a matter of time before me, you and Eujin get signed for Chelsea anyway because they seem to be signing everybody at the moment. So yeah, but yeah, I think it. Yeah, I think I don't think he'll sign a new contract unless Conte signs a contract. And he can see some improvements, but it's looking more and more less likely. If that's a proper word, more and more less likely. Yeah. It's looking less likely that Conte will stay, and that means that Kane will be off. So yes, it's not good. But this is why I believe we should put our heart and soul in team selection and coaching into trying to get as far as we can in the FA Cup, and maybe, just maybe, even winning it. Because I think most of the Premiership teams, they're only Man City and Arsenal. One of them's going to be gone. Yeah. If you get a decent draw, a luck of the draw, we could find ourselves in a semi-final or final. As long as we beat Preston, obviously. Even if you're in a semi-final or final against, say, Man City or Arsenal, you've got that
one-off game, isn't it?
Yeah, that one-off game of winning. So, and if I'm not saying it's going to keep Kane at the club, but I think that a cup for Kane might possibly be the start of something, hopefully. But my caveat to that is I don't think Conte will play the strongest team in the FA Cup. I think he'll look at that as the Preston game as a chance to rotate.
Yeah. Well, if we don't turn up against Preston, they'll beat us. But Eugin...
Well, yeah, I said I was worried about the Man City, the Fulham game, the Preston game, and the Man City game. 4 games I'm worried about. So we've already lost one of them. So.
Yeah. Well, Mark Cousins has cracked it with a new chant. Dane Scarlett, he's one of our own. Eugin, where do you stand on the Kane situation and what would you do?
Kane is gone. He's been conned one time. Yeah. He's been conned the second time. If you con him 3 times, he'll be the fool, right? Yeah. To tell the truth, if I was Kane, I came out 2 seasons ago and talked to Gary Neville, or was it? During the interview, right? Yeah. And blah, blah, blah. Went through the M-City shit, right? Down toolings during Nuno's era, right? Conte came in, gave him a bit of hope. January transfer window got in Decky and Bentancur, brought us to top 4, right? Got us in the Champions League. Summer we did shit all, right? You think Kane is stupid now? He's going to say, where are we going? He knows where we're going. We're going nowhere, right? Because the owners are not going to, come on. his gentleman's agreement with Levy was bullshit. So he thinks he's going to go through that whole scenario again. Nah, Kane is gone. I tell you the truth. He wouldn't mind going to Chelsea. Chelsea came and got him, but Chelsea now is in big shit too because they are in, 10th? They're worse off than us, to tell the truth. Right?
I don't think he'd ever go to Chelsea. I don't think he'd ever go. I think he'd rather go to Real Madrid than go to Chelsea.
To tell the truth, right? I don't care where he goes, right? To tell the truth, it doesn't matter whether he goes to Real Madrid, Bayern Munich, Manchester United, Manchester City. For all you know, he'll end up in Newcastle because Newcastle will most probably play Champions League next season, and they'll pump in half a billion pounds, right, to buy the players for Eddie Howe to build something there. But in the other day, Harry Kane, whatever he does, right, I will salute him and say, adios, bro. You gave us all you had. We didn't give you what you needed. All the best in your endeavors, because to tell the truth, he most probably will have another 2 or 3 more good years left. He's 29 now. He's not going to be at his best. And these 2 or 3 years, this is time to get what he deserves, right?
Yeah.
And when it comes down to the FA Cup, Brad, come on, wake up. We won't get the FA Cup.
It's the hope that kills you, Eugene.
Most probably, right? Conte will get us to the final, right? And Levy will tell him,
get
we
out.
are focused on the top 4. You're not going to do that for me. You're sacked, right? So we're going back to the Mourinho scenario again. 1 week before the cup final, he'll sack Conte. But most probably that'll be the end of the season anyway, because now this FA Cup is at the end of the season.
I mean, this situation, there's no way that Kane is signing a new deal while we're in this decline. I don't think. And
Kane's not signing nothing.
And then what a negative message to send to the rest of football, and the players who you're wanting to try and get in. We're selling our top.
Son will most probably throw in a transfer request, right? Most probably, I say Real Madrid comes and get him, right? And tell the truth, I don't say 50 million. I think if any Premier League club out there now, right, offers Daniel Levy 75 to 80 million pounds for Kane next summer, right?
Yeah,
he's gone.
Take it.
Yeah, he'll be gone.
Here's another scenario.
Unless there's clear evidence of a promise that he will sign a new deal before that goes. I don't think he'll ever do a Sol Campbell situation. I'm going to sign a contract. Yeah, I'm going to sign a contract. Okay, it's free now. I've lied to you. I'm going to go to Arsenal for free.
Another scenario. Bearing in mind their love of centre forwards, you could see Kane breaking Shearer's record playing for Newcastle. Wouldn't that be ironic?
Yeah. And not to say, what if Arsenal wins the Premier? Okay, let's say, what if Arsenal wins the Premier League this season and they still need a striker? What if Kane's goes there?
He'd never go.
But Eugene, just go back to your comment about the FA Cup. Look, it's a dream. It's not.
I know. Just maybe, right? And to tell the truth, right, we might get Preston now. We beat Preston. We might get some League One team again, all the way to the final. And when we reach the final, most probably we're playing a championship team, and Conte gets sacked.
Let's move on. This is the big news, Brad. Transfer activity, laughy face, hands.
Well, you got one of those words wrong there.
I'm furious about this. Trossard going to Arsenal now. Not because Trossard will sort everything out for us. We bid £12 million. Arsenal got him for 27. Arsenal are top of the league, clear leaders, but they're building for their future and building their squad up. He's probably going to be a direct replacement for Odegaard and will push Odegaard. 16-17 season, we had the best first 11 in the league, second in the league. Didn't sign anyone of note to push those and increase our squad. This season, £12 million. I think it was Ben in the chat who said it. We haven't offered any legitimate money for any of our targets. David Villa, 20 million apparently. He's about to just spend that. This Porro situation, 40 million, not that much. We got all of this financial crap coming out after the window, of which I'm sure it will say we're in profit and we could have afforded that. Proactivity. Surely in a business sense, Daniel Levy knows proactivity is the way to go, not reactive. If you're reactive in business, you get left behind. He's proactive in the business sense for Spurs. In the football sense, he's very reactive. And it angers me so much. What is 27 million in today's day and age? Premier League proven, not fix, but will go a long, long way in helping our creative issue in the middle of the pitch. Will help our squad issue, no end, absolutely guaranteed. If we get Trossard, it will increase our level of the squad. I've had my van. I said on Facebook it would be proper moaning. That's my little moan. Your turn. Transfer window. I know we've got 11 days left, but proactivity, get them done within 20 days, not in the last 10.
If we go back to the summer window, where I was actually quite optimistic halfway through the summer window, and I've said this before, so if you've heard me say this before, I apologise, but we signed Richarlison, we signed Basuma, we got Perisic. All right, there's no money involved with Perisic. But Basuma and Richarlison, we seem to basically sign without any haggling. They were signed. And I got the impression during the window that at long last, Levy had given the job to Paratici. He said, you do it all. Then we hear that Jed Spence deal is going on and on and on and on. And we find that Levy was in charge of the negotiations. So now it looks to me, especially with this thing hanging over Paratici with this sort of legal stuff, it's obvious that Levy is now back in the negotiations for the football players. And whether you think that Tottenham should sign Trossard or not, bidding 12 million for a player that they've put a 25 or million thing on is an absolute embarrassment.
I'm going to go down the co-op in a minute where the sandwiches are £3. Yeah. Here's 50p. Let me have the sandwich. No.
Yeah, exactly. It's an absolute embarrassment. And he's. I mean, we had this situation a few years ago where he's known as being the wheeler dealer, blah blah blah, getting the best deal. He's obviously got caught up in his own bloody image now because that's what he seems to be doing.
I said that years ago. I think the Lloris deal, £9 million for a world-class goalkeeper, unbelievable value. He was 24, 25 then, unbelievable value. I think that's told him I can.
Yeah, and he got
the best,
top,
and I think
top money for Berbatov when Berbatov wanted to do. But now he's caught in his own. His own sort of myth that he's this amazing businessman. Well, I'll tell you what, Mr. Levy, if you're watching, which you probably aren't, if you'd have paid the extra $5 million for Bruno Fernandes, we would have probably got into the Champions League, which would have given you probably another 50 or 60 million. So this is what I don't get about this really dealing. It's the same situation. Porro, they say, look, we're not going to. Porro's a great player for us. We're not going to sell him for anything less than 35 million. Yeah. Oh, well, we'll give you 20 million plus a player. It's like, oh, for God's sake, it's embarrassing. It's not, look, okay, if you have a negotiation, you have a top figure and a bottom figure, you meet in the middle. We're not even doing that. We're not even saying to Brighton, 25 million, well, how about 20 million? We're saying 12 million. Yeah. It's embarrassing. I just do not get
Absolutely.
it. We're run by an investment company that they're not going to throw. They're going to be conservative. They're going to be conservative. But it's the same, it's, to me, paying 25 million for Trossard, that's not being conservative. That's being looking into the future. That's speculate to accumulate. It just gets more and more every day. The transfer window goes on. There's some, and Danilo, we apparently want to sign him or whatever his name is. Oh, well, we want a loan with an option to buy. It's like, we just released figures where we've got the 10th biggest income in world football. And you just know we're the ninth. I think we're the 9th richest club in the world, and you just know that when these financial figures are released on the 1st of February, that we're going to be showing profits. And then then you say, well, why aren't we using some of these profits? It's the same with any. And I'm going to go on a rant about billionaires now. It's the same with rich people all over the world. They make profits for their members. I don't care about the people that actually run the companies. They don't care about real people. Now, Let me just make a little caveat here. Okay, let me make a little caveat. If you can give me a bit more time. Okay, we were in terrible financial problems when ENIC took over. They got us to be financially stable. They built a stadium that I absolutely love. I love the stadium. I'm a claustrophobic. I can't go into crowded bars sometimes, but I can have a drink after the game in relative comfort. So I love the stadium. I really do love the stadium. We've got a great training ground, blah, blah. I don't mind the fact
they've boosted our reputation worldwide massively.
They've done all this. They've put. I don't mind boxing being shown. I don't mind watching. I want to go and see a gig at Tottenham. I don't mind that. It's all income. We were told the big stadium, it's all income. But they don't seem to spend any of it on the thing that matters. At the end of the day, football is about hopes and dreams of its supporters. Because if we don't go to our games, then what's the point? And he doesn't seem to, or the whole board, the whole ENIC doesn't seem to see this. No. They've taken us as far as they can. They've taken us under Pochettino to being a Champions League team, challenging for the title. But you want more, because when you're shown that,
Yeah,
I mean, there's a line in the song by James, Sit Down, there's a line, if I hadn't seen such riches, I could live with being poor. That's the same with Tottenham.
Yeah.
We got to that stage with Pochettino. Wow, we're on the verge. We can do this. We can do this.
Yeah, they won't take the next step.
Yeah,
we need someone who will take the next step.
That's my big thing with this ownership. They can't take us any further, so just piss off. Sell out to someone else. But sorry.
Yeah. And Ben Kaufman here, a couple of comments. We could have had Trossard while Arsenal were dicking about with Mudryk.
Exactly.
Absolutely. Mudryk as well, while Arsenal were dicking about with him. Chelsea got that done really quickly.
And apparently Chelsea are interested in Porro as well. So that's where he's going, obviously.
And Vaya as well. Wayne Bonner, transfer activity. We will be discussing every other club then. We've discussed about 3, so we might as well. And Ben, we're run by an investment company who's opposed to investment. Couple from Bob. In fact, there was a moment when I thought a combined deal of just over 40 million would have improved our squad. With Ings and Trossard, just shows where we are at the moment. And biggest thing for me, Linek have made me love my club less. Unforgivable. Yeah. Plus, losing doesn't hurt me anymore. My club losing the game doesn't hurt me anymore. Shame on you, Linek. Shame on you. I'm absolutely with Bob on that last one. I've given up caring.
I reached Bob's condition a long time ago. To tell the truth, transfer window, what transfer window? It doesn't matter to me anymore. We're going to get any players in anyway. So, but unless Brian Daigle stands up in Hotspur way, holding a transfer, doing his protest, right? From now until the transfer window closed, right? Then maybe we'll get 2 last-minute .com signings like last year, right? But this year, Daigle's not doing it, so he'll be busy. But of course, there will be a protest this Saturday, guys. Don't forget, right? This protest Saturday, guys. I'm in Malaysia. If you guys are in the UK, right? It'll be at the training ground, Hotspur Way. We're called Saturday, 10 a.m. It starts from 10 a.m. until 8. Right, on Saturday, if you guys have time, please go down and support Daigle and Ryan, and of course Hesper, Harry, and all the rest of the guys will be going down there. Right.
Yeah, excellent. And I'm with you, Brad. I think he's done kind of overall an okay job as chairman, because there's 2 jobs for chairman in my book. There's the backstage stuff. He's made us a lot more worldwide reputation. That's improved. He's made us financially stable. There's no chance under Enoch and Daniel Levy of us going in the red or any financial trouble. He's, got all these wonderful facilities, which have also helped our reputation. So in that respect, he's been very good. And Bob, is Chris okay? I had some water and it went down the wrong hole, so I had a cough. Thank you for asking, Bob. No one on here asked, but Bob always paying attention. But yeah, so he's done that really well. But the other thing they have to do is improve the team on the pitch and back the manager. And there, over years, he's been appalling. If he was like Abramovich, who after a while anyway, did all of the business stuff, let the football stuff, buy the players and all that. All he got involved with was, here's the check. If he did that, Levy would be an unbelievable chairman, because he's proved he's got our reputation up and money and everything like that. But he has to get involved in the football, And that's no problem if you're going to do what the manager asks and take us the next step. I always go back to the end of the 16-17 season, second to Chelsea, 86 points, 86 would have won it in the Leicester year. That was our time. Best first 11 in the league. Squad, not quite as good. Bob saying wrong hole for... Yeah. Oh, I love you, Bob.
Yeah.
And just for good measure. And yeah, we had the best first 11 in the league. Squad wasn't quite there. That was the time to go and get some top quality players, 2 or 3, because that automatically improves your squad, and really go for the league. And we haven't, when we stood still, and then afterwards was the 18 months and nobody. And there's, you can go through all of the managers in the 20 years and there'll be a list as long as your arm, maybe even longer, of the players that the manager wanted, and we got bargain basement ones. Just for example, Nkudu instead of Mane, Sissoko instead of what's the Newcastle guy, Wijnaldum, Nelson instead of Cahill, and Saha instead of Suarez for Redknapp. There's countless. My personal favourite has to be Martin Yard wanted a left back and we go and get Darren Ben. That's got to be my personal favourite. And that was Kamoli, but Levy allowed that to happen. So unbelievable. And yeah, Wayne Bonnet paid 25 million for Basuma, won't pay the extra 2 for Trossard and Grealish as well. But I mean, there is still time, but it's not happening, is it, guys? It's not happening. We're going to have a transfer window where we may get 1 or 2 people in, but it's not going to be anyone who's going to benefit.
Even if we get 1 or 2 people in, right? Get 1 or 2 more players in. Are these the players that actually Conte wants, right? Yeah. To bring the team forward to play the way he wants to play. That's the sad part. I mean, come on. We know this story. The narrative's been written all along for the past 22 years, right? Levy has put his finger in everybody's butt since that time, right? He's got his fingers everywhere. So, but as I see it, right, at the moment now, the only thing biggest mistake that Levy actually made, right, last season was actually bringing Conte in. If he didn't bring Conte in, right, he brought in another manager, he would have been in so much pressure now. Because once you bring in Conte, you've brought up the expectations of the fans again, right? This is not the first time. This is the second time. Because when you brought in Mourinho after Poch, you brought up expectations of the fans because you brought in a proven winner. But then it was proven. He doesn't support the managers anyway, right? He will buy the players that he wants, right? And he will do what he wants and he thinks which is best for his way of running the business, which is not the football, right? Is to buy players in to make a profit off the players or keep them until they die, right? That's how I see it, right? Why the hell do you think we're still giving contract extensions to Davis, giving contract extensions to Dyer, we can't sell Ndombele, we can't sell the Celso because we're going to keep them until they all die, right? So we are a graveyard, right, for shitholes. Right?
This is the other thing about trying to get. I mean, we got 4 players are out on loan that we can't get rid of, and it's like, well, people will say, oh, but no club wants them because they're shit. Well, maybe that's true, but then if you sell a player that's shit for a small price, then you get rid of him. So we're asking 25 million.
Even no matter how shit Ndombele is, right? Most probably he's going to win the Serie A, Scudetto, right? And there's a slight chance he might even win the Champions League. Imagine, right? If Ndombele comes back imagine if Ndombele comes back with a Scudetto, and imagine what Kane will look like. Kane will say, "Can you send me out on loan to Bayern Munich? At least I get a cup when I come back." Right?
Rest of the season.
Yeah, a bunch of bullshit we've been doing all this year. So, but whatever, it is what it is, right? In the end of the day, what I've got to say is very simple.
Well, this is it. We won't pay the going market rate for the players we want, and yet we want to sell our players for actually inflated prices. It's just,
but what I've got to say is very simple now, right? It doesn't matter now, right? If our fan base, right, accepts the mediocrity, our unambitious owner, and we're all unambitious and being mediocre, then it's fair. But of course, being fans of a football club, while our owners push our expectations up there by getting managers like that, giving us false hope. So it's all just a lie, right? While you do that, you divide the fan base very smartly, right? So we won't unite and protest against you, right? But in the end of the day, if we really want something for us to move forward, then we have to make a step and make a stance, what we want, right? But of course, we have to do it in the correct way, right? In the intelligent way, and of course, in the civilized way, right? Instead of burning down stadiums and all that things, okay? Guys, I mean, if we have to burn a few cars and all that along the way, it's okay. Don't burn any cars, guys. Don't burn any cars, right?
I like that for you, my lad, that Eugene said this.
Darryl here, Levy got ahead of himself like swimming in the deep end with water wings on. The other issue we've got with the transfer window is, I agree with Eugene, content. Well, the one that's going on that we're sleeping through and hibernating through. But I agree with you, Eugene. Content long for Spurs. I'd be absolutely amazed if he's there in the 1st of February. I'll be even more astounded if he's there at the start of next season. I think if we don't sign who he wants in January, he'll walk out. And then we get Poch in because that will be the appeasement manager. But I said on a previous show, just get Poch in. At least then I'll be bloody entertained. But yeah, and if we do buy,
Chris, why do you want to torture Poch again? You're bringing him back to this These are the group of players he wanted to get rid of the first time he was here.
Well, I basically said it to be entertained. I also said I don't think bringing him back is the right thing.
Entertained in the drama, right? Not on the pitch, right? In the back room.
But yeah,
But guys,
this was after the Arsenal game.
If we get rid of Conte now, we bring in a different kind of manager, let's say a Poch or an up-and-coming manager, right? That means that we will have to start the rebuild from the ground again.
Exactly
right?
my point. Any players we bring in now are going to be
useless. Yeah,
Conte,
but the thing is that
and we ain't going to have Conte in about 6 months' time.
Yeah, but the thing is, if we bring in Poch, right, it will cost us another 300 million pounds to do a rebuild. Yeah. Will Levy spend that money? Because we will get rid of 80% of the players in there, right? Kane and Son will be gone. Come on, Poch won't. Kane and Son can't play the Poch way now. They're too old to press. They're too old to run like the full 90 minutes up and down. They'll be dead by then, right? So you have to start the rebuild all over again. And Levy, you will be spending so much more money instead of just taking Conte and giving him what he wants and make us happy. But to tell the truth, I know you won't. So let's see what happens there.
I think the most annoying thing for me personally is the fact that I was actually optimistic at the end of last season.
Yeah,
I actually thought, we're playing well. Conte's got his team.
I don't know how it's changed so much.
Yeah, a few players, and even the first part of the transfer window, we signed 2 or 3 players. Well, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, the summer transfer window. Our summer transfer window, right? I was calling it deja vu in reverse, right? This is what we used to do as a Spurs, right? We used to buy all the players late on, right? And not buy anyone in the beginning. It looked so promising in the beginning, right? We got in all those players, and then all of a sudden we got in all our players in the first two months or so. Then everything just stopped.
Yeah,
right?
It was. We were even buying players before trying to sell other players. The old we got.
But the worst part is that we never addressed the weakness of our squad. We needed the defense. We needed the wing backs, right? We didn't. We just brought in players.
In fairness, I think if Bastoni had wanted to come, I think we would have signed him. But he clearly didn't want to come to Tottenham.
Brad,
he didn't want to leave.
There's so many other options out there. Why was it just Bastoni? We could have gone for Guardiol. We could have gone for Ndika. We could have gone for De Vrij. We could have gone for Botman, right?
Yeah.
Botman went to Newcastle. We could have gone for Botman. We could have gone for Anderson. These are all just excuses. All excuses.
But the other thing that annoys me is the fact that we never hear from our owners, our chairman. They're never out there explaining.
Yeah, we hear from them, right? When they want to bullshit us, right? Right. We misspent 250 million pounds. Then I'll go, who is accountable for that? No, then we must get our own our Spurs DNA back. Oh, then you appoint Nuno. Right? What's all that bullshit about?
Can I just make, before I forget, there was a great tweet or a great comment by, I can't remember the guy's name. I think it might be Finn someone. He's one of the on Twitter, and he said that he wonders how many times Daniel Levy would have actually sacked Daniel Levy in the last 20 years.
No.
It's just a brilliant comment.
Let's move on. Fulham next. I mean, that is easier to talk. Mitrovic is going to cause us all sorts of problems. And Eugene, how do you think that game will go? And is our season over pretty much if we lose that, or is it over already?
To tell the truth, right? Are we playing Fulham away, right?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll turn up. We'll win.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Okay.
To tell the truth, right? I think Conte now at the moment has got this COVID war against Levy, right? When we play at home, we'll be shit. Simple as that. When we play away, we'll be better. That's all. So, and we'll turn up when we play against Fulham and we'll win. So there's some kind of mind games going on behind there. But of course, this Fulham game will be more or less the last game until the transfer window. I mean, until the next game.
It's the last league game, isn't it? Because it's the following weekend. But is our season over? In terms of top 4, I think it is. I think Arsenal, City, Newcastle, Man United will be the top 4. What order that will be, not sure yet. But I don't think we've got any hope. Liverpool are all over the place. They ain't going to get top 4 because they're not consistent enough, and they haven't signed anyone. But for us, I don't think there's any chance of top 4 unless we have an unbelievable run, which I don't see happening.
I don't think the season's over because if you look to last season, I think it was mid-February when we were having this same discussion. Our season's over. I think we lost at home to Southampton and Wolves, and it's like the end of the world. So I don't think the season's over. We can turn it around. But the problem is you're relying on us suddenly turning it around every season. We shouldn't even be in this position.
Brad, the last season was because the rest of
Yeah, no, we were lucky. We were lucky that Arsenal
to get
just
through. And
scored.
this season, Arsenal on top, unless you're expecting some kind of big blunder from Newcastle or big blunder from Manchester United, right? I don't think we'll make top 4. We'll be lucky to scrape into top 6, right? Like what you say, we might end up in the Conference League and throw away all the games in the Conference League. So
this is my point. This is my point that we can't rely on other teams above us going shit like Arsenal did last season.
There's no more reliance on that.
Technically, the season's not over, but it looks very unlikely that we will. That we will be.
It's never over until the.
Yeah. Can't say that anymore.
It's never over until the transfer window closes.
Yeah. No.
I think Bentancur and Kulusevski, excellent signings, but did we get lucky? We were just lucky that we.
I think they were scouted, so I don't think that was luck.
No, I don't think scouted. I think that was the backup plan. Yeah, that was Paratici's masterclass there, right? But guys, don't forget this season Paratici's in jail.
Well, maybe that's where
have you seen the latest news that came out? Paratici can't do any movements at the moment for the next 20 months or so.
Well, Paratici is making a statement on the 1st of February. The dreamer in me thinks it'll be that we're going to be bought out by somebody. That's my dream. But
Paratici pulled out 2 rabbits out of his hat last season, last minute signings, which brought us Decky, and like I said, we were lucky, right? They slotted in just perfectly, right? And it brought us to top 4. This transfer window, because to tell the truth, until that last moment, right? Until Paratici brought in Decky and Kulu, right? I was always been saying Conte will walk, right? Mm-hmm. Last January, I would have been saying Conte will walk since then, right? But Conte stayed because he made top 4. And Conte now is unhappy is because most probably he didn't get the players he won in summer, right? And then most probably Conte was upset because his gentleman's agreement wasn't followed by Levy. So I guess that's why he's making such a big fuss now, right? Giving out all the cryptic messages to us and all that. But it is what it is, right? No matter what happens, we are fans of Tottenham Football Club. It doesn't matter whether Conte is here, Kane is here, Levy is here or not. We will still love our club, right? We'll still all give our all for our club, no matter what. But the only thing I keep saying, our fan base need to make a stand. If you want to be like this, then you have to accept it. If you want to move forward, then you will have to make your voice heard. You will have to make a stand. Simple as that. If not, we'll be still going through the same cycle, rinse, repeat, wash, add soap, right? Put in your comfort, your comfort liquid and all, and then you just stir and wash and then you go over and over again until 2050, and most probably I'll be dead by then before we win a cup.
Just before we go, kind of wrap it up there, but here's your answer. Brad Wayne says Daniel Levy wouldn't have sacked Daniel Levy over the years. He would have given him true. And that's kind of apt place to stop. Thanks everybody for watching.
Big up.
Surprisingly positive and upbeat show despite the crap that we're having to endure. But if you are in London and around on Saturday, go to the protest like Eujin said. Follow everybody's YouTube channels on here. Let's Talk Tottenham, which is where you're at the moment. Hit the like, hit the subscribe, hit the notification bell. Like a bit of magic, my side hustle there, Chris's Magic Trick, every Wednesday, 7:30 p.m. UK time. Go check that out. And then Brad, Blue Sofa Songs, a song every 2 weeks. Not this week, it's the week off this week. But what can people expect next week? And where can they find your show?
Well, I'm working on a song at the moment. Songs, when you start them, never end up how you first imagine them. So it's going to be out next Friday. Hopefully, I'm trying for an upbeat song because my last song was a little bit downbeat. It's a learning process for me. I'm trying to improve as best I can. It's at the end of the process. It's stressful, but the end of the process is great feeling. Yeah. So please go on to Blue Sofa Songs, check it out. I've now got a My Favourites playlist and a DAW playlist, so you don't have to trawl for every single song. And I'll be honest with you, some of the songs work, some of them don't work. You might think a song that I think doesn't work, you might think it does work. So it's all down to personal taste. But yeah, please at least give it a go. And as Chris was saying, click the like, subscribe, notification bell, share it, comment, anything. It all helps the channel. We're all doing our best here. Please also have a look at Chris's Magic channel. I still haven't worked out how he does it. And also Eujin with Spurs Asian TV. A great. I haven't been on it for a while, but it's a really good channel. So let's all support each other. We all support Tottenham Hotspur as well. I can't get to the protest tomorrow, but the next home game that we have, hey, look, a bit of Levy out chanting. I sit in the posh West Stand, but if you all start singing it, I'll be joining in with you as well. So it'll be interesting to see how many people around me also join in, because I think that will certainly send a message. So onwards and upwards, or onwards and
sideways.
At the moment.
Make sure you check out Blue Sofa Song.
Yeah, that's how we play our football anyway, sideways.
Make sure you check out Blue Sofa Songs. No song this week, obviously, but there's plenty of songs on there, so check out the back catalogue. And then Eujin, Spurs Eurasian TV. Crazy 4-hour streams and 4 hours watching this crap as well. I don't know how you do it, but where can people find you and what can they expect?
Okay, Spurs Eurasian TV on YouTube. Usually, I've not done that crazy 4-hour streams anymore because after work commitments and all that. Most probably I do a show a week nowadays, unless there's a watch along that comes along in the right time for me, right? Then I'll do one. Close my off days. And most probably I'll be doing a Lunar New Year special, because don't forget Chinese New Year is coming up very soon. Tomorrow's the eve of Chinese New Year, right? I'll be doing a show on Monday. Most probably I'll be doing a preview of what happened on Thursday, and of course a review of what's going to happen on Monday night, right? Monday night football is on for us. We'll be playing Fulham away, right? Craven Cottage, it wouldn't be an easy place. And let's see what happens there, right? Usually nowadays I get on guests from other clubs too, from Newcastle, from West Ham, Liverpool and all that. We'll just have a banter among each other, right? And let's see how that goes on, right? Guys, if you're not subscribed to Spurs Eurasian TV, just give it a click. And of course, don't forget to subscribe on Chris' channel and Chris Magic channel. And of course, Brad and his Blue Sofa Songs, right? A few good songs there, Brad. A few good songs there, right? Right. Keep up with the lyrics. Maybe you need to come up with one of Levy Out songs soon.
Well, I look, the Blue Sofa Songs was created purely for my musical, to try and get my music over and my lyrics over. So I try and keep football totally separate. But if you do click onto it, there is a song on there called "A Love We All Know." Have a look at that one. Look at the lyrics to that one, and interpret any way you want. But you'll probably guess the meaning behind that song. So
Leave you out.
So make sure you check all of those channels out for you. Let's Talk Tottenham, Chris's Magic, Blue Sofa Song, Spurs Eurasian TV. Like, subscribe, notification bell, back catalogue. You know the drill by now. Make sure you do that. And like Brad said, we've got to support each other. And the Spurs community does that brilliantly, I do have to say. We're back on Monday. Normally it's a 7:30 show. It will be a 7:30 show, but normally it's talking about the weekend game. But this week it'll be a watch along for the Fulham game. So 7:30, bit of a preview, seeing what clowns are in the starting lineup and who we're gonna how much we're gonna lose by, and then a watch along. So join us for that. Friday I'm at a work do, so there won't be one next Friday. So it'll be the following Monday after that. Please hit the like. Please hit the subscribe. Thanks to everybody who's put comments in. Big shout out as well to Bob Spur in particular for asking how I was when I was having my coughing fit when no one else cared. Really appreciate that, everybody, for not caring at all while I was slowly dying. Only joking, of course. But yeah, thanks for all the comments. Hit the like, hit the subscribe. Go on all of these other channels and do exactly the same. We'll be back on Monday for the watch along. And I better say it because I say it all the time, but with no feeling now anymore. Come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs.
Leave you out.
Thanks so much for watching. For everybody who joined in the live chat and added comments, before you go, please leave a like and hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Also, please hit that notification bell. That'll give you a notification every time we're about to go live, and it's all completely free. For those who missed the live show, you can catch this whenever you want on Let's Talk Tottenham's YouTube channel. Please also hit the like, subscribe and notification bell, and everybody please leave feedback, comments, suggestions in the comments section on the YouTube videos. For those of you who listen to the audio podcast, thank you so much for listening. Anyone who wants that audio podcast, you can pick that up wherever you get your podcast from. We're back Mondays, 7:30pm UK time, and Fridays, 12:30pm UK time. Alternatively, if you go to Twitter @Talk Tottenham, Instagram, Let's Talk Tottenham Podcast, you can find all the information there. Anyone who wants something a little bit different, also do a magic show. So I do one trick a week, which drops Wednesday, 7:30pm UK time. Chris's Magic on YouTube is where you'll find that. But in the meantime,